My name's Branden. I'm a world traveler, foodie, and YouTuber. Together, you and I will find the best travel hacks, tips, and best places to explore. Join me as we find new adventures together, live only on IBM.tv. Hello and welcome. Hi. Welcome to Best of Travel. My name is Branden. If you're new to the show, welcome and hello, and thanks for tuning in. We're talking about everything travel. We're talking about everything you could ever want to know when it comes to travel hacks, travel tips, the best vacations, the best travel inspiration, all of those good things. And today's a fun day. We're going to talk about some topics that have been a little bit hot button topics on the in the spectrum here the last few days. So I'm excited to see kind of how the travel landscape pans out in all of this. I think that we're facing a lot of fun travel times, and I think we're going to have some interesting industry travel news coming in 2021. If you don't know me, if you're new to the stream, my name is Branden. I'm your host today. If you want to see more of me, you can always hop on over to my main YouTube channel to subscribe. You can also visit my website at thebrandenscott.com. My website there. You can get all sorts of fun merch. You can get all sorts of fun stuff. Actually, I'm wearing some of my own merchandise. This is the Explore line, which you can get at thebrandenscott.com/store. I have bags, I have t-shirts, sweaters, hoodies, everything you could ever want. So visit that link down below, thebrandenscott.com/store, and pick up some fun travel swag, some fun travel merchandise. That's the way to do it. So if you're new to Best of Travel, we're talking all about travel tips, tricks, and hacks to make sure you have the best vacation every time. The best part of the stream, of course, is that it's live. So leave a comment below. Feel free to ask me all your travel questions. We'll get you set straight. We'll get you set up. We'll make sure that you're ready to have a great trip. Welcome to the show, everyone. This is fun. I always love doing these live streams. And if you're just joining in the chat, feel free to say hi, shout out, ask what you want to know, and let's have a fun discussion. I think that's the key to these shows, right? So today we're talking about theme parks. That's right. We're talking about the theme park world, the Disney worlds, the Sea worlds, the Six Flag worlds, all the theme parks, mainly here in the United States. We're talking about the staggered reopenings of the theme parks, the questionable ideas, the great ideas, the bad ideas, and all kind of the nitty gritty in between. So if you're new to life, obviously all the theme parks were closed for a while, right? Everything started to close down with the COVID pandemic, but in the summer of 2020, one of the leading theme parks, Walt Disney World in Florida, opened again a phased reopening. They had some days for annual pass holders. They tried to create some social distancing rules. They had a lot of plexiglass barriers. This is a good time to be in the plexiglass business, let me tell you. A lot of plexiglass barriers. And lots of little stickers all over the ground to, just to try and help with some of that social distancing rules and guidelines. And it seemed to go okay for the most part. When they reopened, the new sidewalk decals indicating social distancing spots, all that kind of stuff seemed to work pretty well. Other theme parks started to, plan similar ideas of how they could reopen. And the interesting thing I think about theme parks is that they are the perfect place. I mean, the perfect place for a reopening of the travel industry. They're a really good spot for this. They're in a good position. They have the ability to spread people out. They're usually very large. They have the ability to work with reduced capacity and low contact. You don't have to have a lot of contact when you're getting on a ride. So everyone was pretty optimistic, I think, about this. However, things changed. The news changed in mid-July when Animal Kingdom opened in Walt Disney World. They had some kind of reduced attendance rules, but people left in droves. People felt uncomfortable. People weren't sure what to do. They had lots of invasive TSA style things to get in. So you had to, have your temperature check, this kind of stuff. You had a lot of social distancing rules. Shanghai Disneyland is a great example. When they reopened, they had a maximum of 24,000 people, which is 30% of its capacity. So they really kind of pulled things back. They cut a lot of parades, they cut a lot of fireworks displays, they cut character meet and greets, a lot of theatrical productions, really kind of zoned back. So the pandemic didn't do super well for the theme park world. A lot of the mask rules were in place, and that seemed to kind of help. People actually did wear their masks. Disney, of course, has a way of making people follow guidelines in a very PR friendly way. So everyone was, wore their face masks, and you didn't hear a lot of stories about Karens and angry people not wanting to wear their masks in the theme parks. So it seemed to be going okay. My favorite theme park opening, though, was in Japan. So there's a roller coaster in Japan called Fuji Q Highlands, or a theme park in Japan called Fuji Q Highland, and the ads when they reopened, their catchphrase was "Please scream inside your heart." For all their roller coasters. That was kind of a fun little poke at it there. Other parks have opened as well. Magic Kingdom, of course, Epcot, Hollywood Studios opened in the summer. And things have kind of been open and going since then. SeaWorlds have had reopenings. Universal's had some reopenings. They've been able to kind of recreate some of the travel experience in this kind of weird world that they're in. And this is good news for, of course, for the theme parks. Even if they're making less money, at least they're still able to operate. They're one of the few entertainment destinations that still operate. Cruises aren't really operating. Tourist destinations are closed, but the theme parks can open. They're in open air. They're fairly easy to spread out. You can easily have still have your 30,000 people come, but spread them all out. So you're able to really to kind of, I think, manage this at a theme park. The sad thing for the theme park was the core of it is the entertainment properties. Whether it's SeaWorld, whether it's Universal Studios, whether it's Legoland, whether it's Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, Six Flags, these parks have rides and they're known for their rides, but the core of their park is really their entertainment brand. Didn't go so well. All of my friends essentially were laid off. Most of us have been laid off for a year or more now. Been a while. The Walt Disney World, I think, laid off, I want to say 20,000 workers from the theme park division. So that's 13% of their division. So that's a lot of people. I know all of my friends essentially got laid off. If you weren't operating the ride or cleaning or selling t-shirts, you were fired. You were shown the door. Now, some people will blame this on different states and different regulations and COVID regulations, but the theme parks have really started to pick up in 2021. They've really been able to kind of manage expectations very effectively. They've also been able to manage crowds very effectively. And I think that coming in 2021, we're going to see theme park attendance skyrocket. People are hesitant to do large group activities, as they should be. People are hesitant to get on an airplane and go somewhere. But a road trip to a theme park, and there are theme parks all over the country, no matter where you're at, you're usually within 2 to 4 hours of a Six Flags, a Cedar Point, a Walt Disney World, a Dollywood, some sort of theme park. Now, the challenge, I think, of this is that, it's rewriting the playbook for theme parks. These parks, amusement parks, theme parks, whatever you want to call them, they're built on community, putting people together, smushing people in. They want to get as many people in as possible. Their rides are designed to get as many people in as possible. They have big shows to get as many people together in one area, funnel them through retail shops, the gift shop at its peak. Truly capitalism at its peak is the theme park. And whether you think it's good for our society or not, it's certainly the only place the entertainment industry still has a little bit of a leg to stand on, the one place that started to come back a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about kind of where we're going in the future, where theme parks are headed, what we can expect from theme parks in 2021, and kind of how the theme park world will go in 2021, because it's a strange world. So we have to do two things. We're going to talk a little bit about two separate versions of this topic, because there is the Disneys of the theme park world, who have rabid fan bases. They have dedicated people who will buy anything Disney, who will go regularly, who will go all the time, people who are obsessed. And then you have the smaller theme parks. So you have that kind of large theme park brand, and I would loop in Disney and Universal Studios with that brand. I would say that SeaWorld is at the top of the small theme park brand. They have a lot of parks that do very, very well. They're a great competitor for Disney, but they don't have as rabid of a fan base. Six Flags, Cedar Point, Dollywood, Knott's Berry Farm, all these places have a smaller fan base, right? So we have to kind of split this up, I think, into two distinct sections of the theme park world, because this is a different discussion for different brands of how they negotiate their entertainment world. So let's talk a little bit first about cleanliness. Let's talk about sanitation and where they're at right now with the theme park world, with being clean, safe destinations, and where I think they'll be this year. So right now, at just about every open theme park in the United States, all guests who are 2 years or older have to wear a mask. Got to wear a mask. The only time you can take it off is when you're sitting down and eating. A lot of parks, the Disney brands in particular, the large theme park brands in particular, are very specific. They say things like, these are the kind of face masks you can wear. You can't wear neck gaiters. You can't wear, bandanas. They have to be made with at least two layers of material. They have to fully cover your nose and your mouth. They have to fit snugly, and they have to be tied with ties or ear loops so that they're hands-free. So that's pretty specific. If you've ever wanted to know what the definition of a face mask is, that's the definition of a face mask. That's pretty specific. And a lot of theme parks have followed this motto. A lot of theme parks have, worked to, kind of set out guidelines for people. So when they get the Karens, they can do something about it. But they also have other specific rules when it comes to cleanliness and sanitation. So we have to talk a little bit about, let me find my script here. So hand sanitizer, of course, is obviously a big deal. It's everywhere. Everyone's using hand sanitizer all the time. And a lot of the breweries and things that have turned over to make hand sanitizer have stuck to it. So Universal Orlando is very, very big on deep cleaning of rides. So every so often, the rides will shut down entirely, and people will go through them and just do a deep clean. They do the sprays, they do everything of all the rides. Disney has similar things. Six Flags doesn't necessarily shut down their rides, but they wipe high-touch surfaces. So they, every ride or two will go through and Clorox the lap bars, the places you grab, all that kind of stuff, to try and keep wait time at a reasonable amount, but to also try and keep things clean, keep things sanitary, keep things going in a nice, clean way. And I think that this is going to be an important part of the future at theme parks. So the plexiglass barriers are not going away anytime soon. The hand sanitizer obviously is not going away anytime soon. The theme parks are going to live in this bubble of a world of deep cleaning, because they're perfectly suited for it. So if you're starting to look for vacations and stuff, this is going to be the place to look for it. You get on that roller coaster and you're having a great time, and that's lovely, and go, That's my roller coaster impression. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Thank you. Thank you. My roller coaster impression. Spot on. But that's the world they create. They work very hard, these theme parks, to create a cohesive universal world. So when you walk in the door, you're in a new world. You see what they want you to see, you smell what they want you to smell. So they're in a good position to have a nice bubble for safe travel destinations. They're also outdoors, which is a unique thing in the travel world. A lot of travel is revolves around food, indoor restaurants, airplanes, indoor theaters, indoor museums. An outdoor destination has the added safety benefit of being outdoors, which is a huge, huge perk for them. So that's something that I think is really going to help the theme park world. I think that we're going to see that we're having these large areas, these large spaces that can accommodate fewer people and still be profitable, really manage this bubble well. So we're not going to see the hand sanitizer go away anytime soon. We're not going to see the plexiglass barriers go away anytime soon. And we're not going to see the masks go away anytime soon, despite what people might think. They also have really made a big push towards cashless, I'm having a stroke, cashless payments, such as Apple Pay, Google Wallet, the taps. I don't know about you, but my bank just sent out these new tap cards that you can tap like you would your phone. So that will, I think, help a lot. Some places have talked about advanced reservations. That maybe that's a thing that'll stick around. I doubt it. I think in 2021 we'll see a bit of normal for those places. You have to remember that we leave home to have communal shared experiences. That's why we go. We go to have an exciting experience with other people. That's what makes it so fun. So keeping up with that theme, we want to still provide that experience for people at these parks, but in a way that keeps them away from each other. Really a juxtaposition there. Now, when we talk about things like Busch Gardens, Six Flags, Cedar Fair, a lot of them are doing something that they haven't done before. They're switching their whole business model. A lot of these places, parks in general, but especially the parks that were, up north or in areas that got cool. So even in Texas, the parks do this. They'll be open in the summer. They'll do Halloween in the fall. They'll do a little bit of light Christmas, and then they have, they're closed January and February. That started to really change. People have realized that if they're open longer, they can accommodate more people, but keep them at lower volumes. And so I think that's something we're going to see. I think year-round theme parks is going to be a change that's going to stick, at least for a while. So the other thing we have to talk about is the kind of perception of cleanliness. We talk about this a lot on my YouTube channel. If you don't watch my YouTube channel, you should go subscribe. We talk about security theater, which is what TSA essentially is, right? They don't really do a lot. They're not really, keeping you from having your toenail clippers isn't really going to stop an attack. But it makes people feel more secure, to feel more comfortable taking that airplane ride. It makes people who might be casually planning some sort of vicious attack, feel like maybe they shouldn't. So this is what we're talking about now when it comes to sanitation in the theme park world. We want people to feel like it's a clean, safe environment, even though we know that the surfaces aren't as important in the COVID world as airflow. They're important, but not as important. Wash your hands; it's just about as good. But we want them to feel comfortable. But we don't want them to sit in a cloud of Lysol all day. So it's a fine line to walk. But I think we're going to see. You're going to go next time you go to a theme park. Mark my words. In the next 2 years, you will see in that theme park someone with a mask spraying, deep cleaning a roller coaster, a ride, a theater seat. That's just going to be part of the new norm for a while. Now, we have to talk a little bit about some of the rides, right? So part of the problem with some of the rides at these theme parks is that you get on them and you're packed in really close to other people. And then you go on them and sometimes you're screaming, you're laughing, you might throw up. It can be kind of sketchy. You gotta be able to clean those rides really well. So a lot of rides have also now been socially distanced, putting just one family in a car, things like this, in a cart on a roller coaster. So that's something that's I think going to stick around for a while, just to make people feel more comfortable. And this is going to be a big part, I think, of the theme park world here in 2021. We want people to feel more comfortable. We want people to feel like they're safe. So they're going to be distancing themselves from other people in a way that may or may not actually be effective, but will make some people feel like they're effective. So, when we talk about kind of the new world of theme parks, one of the things we have to look at is the kind of current state of theme parks, which is financial turmoil for a lot of theme parks. A lot of theme parks have fired or laid off most of their staff. A lot of their staff are younger people who can work for lower wages. So if you're going to go work for the summer at a theme park, you might only be paid $10 an hour, $7 an hour. So um, it has an effect because then people will be less likely to go take those jobs, I think, in the future, because they are low paying jobs with not a lot of guarantee. You could get laid off at any time. When you see someone like Disney World lay off a large portion of its theme park staff, I think it makes the population who would be interested in working in a theme park a lot more sketch of working in a theme park. The other thing is the entertainment aspect. So the current status of the entertainment aspect at the theme parks is really, I don't want to say non-existent, because there is still entertainment going on. But it is significantly lower than it used to be. See, you used to go visit somewhere like Disney or Six Flags or Cedar Point or SeaWorld, and you would go ride some rides, and you would go sit in a theater and see some shows, or maybe like an arena and see some shows. You would go meet some costume characters. Maybe you'd have some up close and personal. SeaWorld did a lot of these interactive shows where people would drive around in a golf cart around the park and stop and interact with you and give you a little sticker and do a little show for you. All of that's shut down and stopped in such a unique um, level, such a strong place. So that's something that is going to be strange, because one of the things we don't talk about a lot, because this is a travel theme channel, is the artistic cultural depression that we're headed towards. Because when shows open again, when we start doing entertainment again, doing theater again, putting some of these meet and greets back into the parks, when we start doing some of this stuff, we're going to have a generation of artists, of performers, of technicians, of scenic painters who have had to pivot careers and aren't able to go back into the arts industry, or aren't willing to. And so there's going to be a great demand for some of these things, but not not a lot of people who are able to kind of jump back into their old jobs. Um, so that'll be an interesting perspective, the entertainment aspects of some of these things. When will they come back? Will they come back? Will they ever come back? We don't really know. So with that being said, theme parks do have a future that is coming, that is strong, that is going to be, I think, a good future. I think they're going to be a hot spot for entertainment and travel and tourist destinations in the future. And after the break, we're going to take a little break here, but after the break, I'm going to explain why I think that is. Before we go, I want to remind you that if you're watching, the best way you can support the stream, wherever you're watching, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever it is you're watching this live stream, is visit this website down here and get yourself a nice Explore t-shirt, get yourself a nice mug, get yourself a nice bag. That's the best way to keep it going. We'll keep some content coming your way. But we're going to take a short break. You are watching Best of Travel today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the theme park world when we come back. Don't go anywhere, and leave some questions, comments below. If you've been to a theme park, what are your favorites? Are you a Disney person? Are you a SeaWorld person? I'm curious to know. You can also tweet at me at the Branden Scott. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. But we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, more of theme parks here on the Best of Travel. travel, it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be expensive. When you think of travel, it can be easy to get overwhelmed from pricey airline flights, dates of your hotel, navigating in Ubers and taxis in foreign languages, and currency exchange. It can feel really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Let me help you break down travel into some easy, simple steps so that way you can take the trip of a lifetime without breaking the bank or stressing yourself out. Travel is more complicated now than ever, so having a guide who's experienced to help you navigate the world of travel can be priceless. And it is priceless. It's free to watch here on IBM TV and free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I'll give you some great travel tips and advice. There's nothing quite like snapping that photo at sunset in Paris, trying great coffee in Colombia, or adventuring around Spain having a great sunny day. Even if you want to travel domestically, from budget travel guides in New Orleans, New York, Paris, and London, to luxury travel guides and everything in between, travel can be so much fun and so much more affordable than you think. I hope you're having a great time watching me here live on IBM TV. I have a ton of fun making Travel Tuesdays Travel with Branden, and I hope you're having a lot of fun watching. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, swing by my YouTube channel. You can find my YouTube channel full of great travel tips, some travel hacks, some food recommendations, city guides, budget travel tips, and so much more. Subscribing on YouTube is free to do, and it helps support me and continue making great travel content for you to see. You can also visit me online at thebrandenscott.com, where you can get even more travel advice, some great links, and some in-depth breakdowns of trips I've taken and trips you can plan. It's a great way to find a little bit of inspiration for your next adventure and some travel tips. I've got cities both domestic and international that you can check out. Find the best places to eat, the best things to see, the best things to do, and how to do it all affordably. Whether you want to stay at Airbnbs or five-star luxury hotels, there are great ways you can do all of those things on a budget. Swing by my YouTube channel, give that big red subscribe button some love, and don't forget to visit thebrandenscott.com for even more travel tips.
And I ran away out of all this gray. I just went out.
Welcome back. If you're just watching or just joining the stream, my name is Branden, and you're watching Best of Travel here on, whatever you're watching. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're just about everywhere. We're talking about theme parks today. And if you're just joining the stream, pop on over to that website. Check out some great travel articles. I have some great city guides. I've actually launched a couple of new domestic city guides because domestic travel is going to be where it's at in the future. And that kind of leads into what we're talking about today a little bit, because we're talking about theme parks and domestic travel and road trips. As I've preached on the show, I mean, I've preached it since October, probably. I've been saying, hey, this is where it's at. We're gonna be in a land of domestic travel, and theme parks have the perfect market for domestic travel. Who doesn't remember, a National Lampoon road trip? The American road trip model is strong. And I think domestic travel in all countries all over the world is going to be a really strong travel market in the rebound of the pandemic. Theme parks are perfectly positioned because you take a week-long trip, you drive 10 hours to Disney World or to Universal Studios or to SeaWorld in San Antonio, whatever it is, and you have your little vacation there. It's got everything you need. They've got the hotels, the resorts, the food, the entertainment, the attractions for you to spend a week wandering around the park. So they're perfectly positioned for this rebirth. Now, here's an interesting fact. I'm a little biased, I have to say, for a company called Cedar Fair Entertainment, which does, Cedar Point, obviously. The company is based in Ohio, where I was raised. Woo! Go Bucks! Go Ohio! OH! Crickets. IO. Cedar Fair said that even though they're at 25% of normal capacity, all of 2020, they are still able to make a profit. Theme parks have that unique ability to gather a lot of people in a large, spread out place and kind of keep things going. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the rebirth, because that's what this episode is called, the rebirth of theme parks. We have to talk a little bit about live events, which have been suspended. Whether they're parades, whether they're shows, they draw massive crowds. Sometimes people just go for these events. I think they're going to come back, and they're going to come back in a very unique, different way. I think we're going to see bigger events. I think the rebirth of American theme parks means instead of having a stage where people are standing and doing a thing, singing and dancing, and there's pyro, we're going to have, a central place where the show is happening, but we're going to have all over the park, large light shows, large pyrotechnic shows, maybe screens with what the show is, so people can still spread out and watch these shows. I think that's going to be a method you'll see happening. Without some of these shows, the parks really do struggle. You have to remember the fireworks is a huge draw for these theme parks. So whether you're Six Flags, whether you're SeaWorld, whether you're a Knott's Berry Farm, if you're doing a day in the summer and you have a fireworks show the end of the night, people will stay the extra 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, to see the fireworks. So trying to keep people in the parks as long as possible is important. Now, fireworks are great because you can watch them from a distance. You don't have to gather. Now, we're going to see, I think, one of the things that will really play a big part in this is technology. We've already seen this a lot, right? Disney abandoned their magic bands, which at the time was an incredible piece of technology that they launched for people to get into their hotel room, pay their food bills with these little wristbands, little doohickeys that would let people do that. This is going to change drastically, I think, in the next year or two. So we talked a little bit about not using cash. We talked a little bit about the Apple Pay, the Google Pay, but we're going to see tech starting to come in a lot. So, back in my day, back in 2018, 2019, you would go get on a ride, or you would go people would count. There'd be somebody there with a little counter. That's going to be something I think you're going to see disappear, right? Automatic counters. We're going to talk about mobile ordering, people using their phones to order their food ahead of time because they can sit outside, they can be distant, they can order their food, go in, pick it up, and be done. Now, this is good and this is bad. This is good because it makes it a lot safer for people to still enjoy tourism, to still get some level of entertainment in this weird pandemic world. It's bad for the workers, as always, right? When technology comes along, you're now eliminating the jobs of the people doing those things, whether it's a cashier who's calling out your order, whether it's a guy standing there counting, whether it's the guy at the games who would guess your weight or give you a basketball if you climbed up a rope ladder. Those things may not really make a big comeback. Whether or not their jobs open up in other places is, still to be seen. But being 16 and working for minimum wage at a park where you counted people coming in, you're not going to really pivot to a tech career, right? You're not going to all of a sudden be designing the app that counts people. So it's a challenging world in the kind of labor world. I hope we see a lot more theme parks unionize. I think that'll be important to the labor world. But in the rebirth of theme parks, they're open now. I mean, in a time where we can't go do things, this is one of the few places we can go safely do things. But we're going to see all of the interaction points are going to be limited to low touch, no touch transactions, and it's just going to become a normal thing. People are going to be used to it. The other thing we're going to see is, so we're all used to how theme parks design their lines, because that's what's famous most about them, is that you get in a long line and you zigzag through, and there's maybe fans with some cool mist in the heat of the summer. But we're going to see that totally redesigned. I think we're going to see a lot more reservations for rides where you can get on the phone and reserve in your app a 12 o'clock ride on this roller coaster, and then you just show up and you kind of go. So there's less time for people to be put together. I think that's a great thing. I think that makes sense. I think people are going to get used to that pretty quickly. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the other weird things about theme parks and the kind of the new normal for theme parks. So theme parks, they've had a rough go of it. but they've had a less rough go than a lot of other places, right? So cruise ships have had a rough go. Cruise ships are closed, they're done, they've been just anchored out for a year almost. So um, we're going to be looking at a hard recovery there, but something like a theme park is great because you can get in your car and you can drive there, so you're safe. You're in your car with just your family. You get there, you have maybe a touchless check-in at your hotel. You go and tap into your hotel room door. You go to the park. You're outdoors. You're wearing your mask. You're spread out from everybody else. A lot easier to kind of get in there. Now, we do have to talk about money because that's what drives all of this, right? So I think Disney was rumored to have said they lost about $3.4 billion. I think that also includes like movies they didn't release, but all these other parks are taking a big hit too, right? SeaWorld looked at, I think, at about 22 million, 230, 220 million, something like that, lost revenue. So a lot of places kind of going away. Now, usually, here's what's interesting. Usually what you see is this kind of slow rebound, right? So when there's when there's a problem, 2008 is a great example, an economic recession. When there's a problem in the theme park world, you see this slow rebound where the problem hits, and then as people start to get more money, they start to slowly go back to these theme parks. So some experts will say we're going to see that, right? Because people are struggling financially. I disagree a little bit. I think that people are struggling financially, but I think that theme parks are going to rebound quicker than they usually do because they're one of the only safe places for people to go have a tourist experience. Whether or not that'll play out that way, honestly, I don't know. But I think that they're going to do. Let me put it this way. I think they're going to fare much better than the cruise ship industry and the international travel industry. So I think though they may have a slow rebound, I think they're going to have a faster rebound than a lot of other travel industries. And I think that if you're looking at booking a vacation in 2021, a theme park is going to be a safer bet. If you're looking at booking something in the spring, or not the spring, let's say late summer, early fall, a theme park is going to be a good bet. People are safer at theme parks. It's lower risk than a lot of the other travel options you might find. But there are still some risks, right? So we're going to see a little bit of a slump. We're going to see a reduction of attendance. We're going to see a reduction of entertainment offerings for a while, years. We can't pretend like this hasn't drastically affected the entertainment industry. So, hello, there's nothing in the entertainment industry happening right now. But theme parks are in a position to be able to come back a little bit better. Now, let's talk about the generational change, right? So we're now have a whole generation of people who are my age and younger, who are going to think the idea of being tied down in a roller coaster next to a stranger is uncomfortable and is weird. So I think you're going to see casual experiences at theme parks grow much larger. People usually go to a theme park for the thrill rides and the entertainment, but I think you're going to have a generation of people who are more hesitant to show up and sit on a roller coaster next to some total strangers. So while some of the rides will probably continue to have a one party per car kind of deal, we, I think, are going to, as a whole, find that these casual entertainment offerings, so things like food festivals, things like themed events where maybe you go around the world and see an act from each culture, nationality around the world of a theme park. These kind of casual events, I think, are going to be a big part of the theme park future, because they're losing a big draw, but I think they're going to also be in a really good place to kind of jump into a new world. Now, let's talk a little bit about the risk level of theme parks, because I'm a big fan of right now is not the time, right? I know these parks are open. I know things are opening. Now is not the time. We've got 400,000 dead people. It is not the time to go out and travel. I'll be the first one to do it. I'll be the first one to tell you when it's safe to do it. I think theme parks are going to be something that are safe, relatively safe or low risk to do in the late summer, early fall. Now, let's talk a little bit about the risk level. So, at these theme parks, when you go, you're going to want to stay away from people. You're going to want to have some physical distance, whether you're going to be getting on a ride, whether you're going to be eating, whatever it is you're going to be doing. If you have the ability to do a touchless interaction, if you have the ability to order it ahead of time, do it. If you have the ability to pay cashless, do it. If you have the ability to do some of these things, do it. That's going to be one of the keys here, right? The other thing you want to do is you want to wash your hands all the time, right? 20 seconds, water and soap, wash your hands all the time at these theme parks. We've heard it all year, but it's going to be important in these theme parks because you're going to be touching a lot of surfaces. So you want to make sure that you do that and you be safe. You also want to keep your mask on as much as you can, right? If you're going to eat, find an area that's away from people to eat. Being outdoors, there's a bit of a breeze. If you're 20, 30 feet away from the nearest people, take off your mask and enjoy your food. But when you're in these crowded areas, when you're getting in line, when you're getting on a ride, you got to keep that mask on. So, finding a comfortable mask now is like finding a Balenciaga bag. It's hard to do, but it's key because you want a mask you can wear on these roller coasters. And you're probably going to want to be in that place where you're doing that even when it's a little more safe to go, because we don't know a lot about the vaccine. So we want to make sure that we continue to be as safe as we can. Now, let's talk a little bit about, I guess we have to talk a little bit about Orlando, right? This is where I said we're going to talk about this in two parts. I was talking very generally about theme parks, right? Now let's talk a little bit about Orlando. Let's talk a little bit about Disney World, because this is kind of the kingpin of theme parks. 2020 obviously was very tough. Everything was quiet. Everything was shut down. There weren't people there for the first time in a very, very long time. I think we're going to look probably at about a 2-year recovery period total, but I think we're going to have this be recovering faster than other tourist destinations. The cruise line, Disney Cruise Line, is going to recover slower than the theme parks. Now, something like Disney World is hurting because a lot of their lifeblood is entertainment. We have to talk about the areas these people live in. Now, all of a sudden, if you live near Orlando, you're not making any money. You might be on unemployment. You might have been kicked off unemployment because you've been on it too long and you have no jobs. You'd have to pack up and move your whole house and whole life to find a job because there's nothing really happening for your career in that area. So the cities are having a really hard time. Their revenue is falling. Not just the parks, but the actual cities. So that's something we really have to contend with. Right now, we have a lot of unemployed entertainers concentrated heavily in one area, and their lifeblood, their career, their jobs might not be back for another year. So, Disney's done pretty well with all this. They have a lot of other income streams. They're not solely based in theme parks. So they've been okay. We don't need to worry about Disney. They own everything. It's okay. They're going to be fine. Now, let's talk a little bit about the people who aren't going to be fine. So we've had a lot of layoffs, right? Unionized actors at Disney getting laid off was big news. The tourism industry is going to face a really unique challenge in 2021, a challenge where a lot of the staff that was laid off or fired in the pandemic are going to be replaced with technology. So as opposed to having maybe a bellman carry your bags to your door, you're going to carry them yourselves. Or maybe there'll be a little robot to help you. As opposed to having a front desk guy to check you in, you might make the reservation on your phone, get an alert when the room's ready, and walk right to the room and use your phone to tap into the room. When we talk about entertainment, something that's not as easily replaceable by technology, we have to talk about the 32,000 people that were equity actors at Disney who were laid off. We have to talk about the hundreds of thousands of people who were performers who were laid off, the hundreds of thousands of people who were painting the sets, writing the shows, these large musical productions, whether it's Broadway or a theme park, were all laid off. Now you've got a world of weird, laxed entertainment theme parks. So you have a strange combination of pent up demand. People want to go do these things, but the reason people used to want to go there is gone. So if you are going to go to a theme park, I recommend you also donate to like the Actors Equity Fund, Broadway Cares. Donate to them. But if you're going to go to one of these theme parks, don't expect entertainment. Don't expect costume characters. Don't expect meet and greets. Don't expect any theatrical productions. Expect a place to wander around in a nice open air area and have some fun experiences. That's the future of theme parks. They're being reborn in a new way, but they're being reborn in a way that I think many people didn't see coming, and that the theme parks as a whole weren't prepared for. So the Disney model is going to be fine. The Six Flags model is going to be fine. The Cedar Fair model is going to be fine. They're based on thrill rides. They'll be able to sort it out. They'll be able to figure it out. The challenge is for some of these smaller theme parks, the Dollywoods, the Knott's Berry Farms, even the SeaWorlds, which relied heavily on entertainment or close-up exhibits and tours and things like this, to figure out how to restructure what they do so that people still have a reason to come other than they just want to get out of the house and a reason to spend money. So new intellectual property rights are going to be a big part of this. But if you are watching the show and you're just thinking, Brandon, you're talking a lot about industry stuff, what do I do? Here's the answer. If you're looking to book a family vacation in 2021, book a domestic road tripped theme park vacation and book it for the fall. Book a refundable one because we don't know what will happen between now and then, but it's a fairly safe bet to assume that it'll be low risk to travel to a theme park in the fall. So that's going to be your spot to go on a family vacation. If you're looking for a not family themed vacation, I have lots of suggestions for you, but don't book a cruise. You're not going to get one. You're not going to find cruises making the rebound that theme parks make. Book a outdoor theme park interaction, vacation, exhibit, whatever it is. Whether it's a show that comes in and sets up an exhibit in an outdoor space, book it. Whether it's a show that does an outdoor musical, theatrical concert festival, that's a safer bet. Theme parks are going to be a great safe bet for 2021. They're going to be reborn like we haven't seen before. We're going to see new methods of entertaining people. We're going to see new methods of guests. We're going to see new methods of interactions. It's going to be very exciting. So if you're looking for the next hot vacation item to book, that's the one. And remember always my impression on the roller coaster. That's my roller coaster impression. I hate to leave you with that, but I feel like that's the place to go, right? As always, we're not there yet. So don't go booking your travel. Don't go adventuring out yet. Stay home, wear your mask, stay safe, stay distant. When we're ready to travel again, I'll be the first one to tell you. If you're looking for some inspiration, visit thebrandonscott.com. Go get yourself some fun Explore merchandise. There you go. You can get a fun t-shirt, fun sweater, and be inspired to travel soon. Start saving up, start planning for your vacation, but it's not going to be quite time to take it yet. I'll be the first one to tell you when it is. If you enjoyed the show, tune in every Tuesday here at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're live just about everywhere: Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all over the place. You can also check out my YouTube channel. Just type Lee Branden Scott into the YouTube search bar or go to my website and click on YouTube. Subscribe there because that's how I know you like the show and that you're watching and you want to see more. And I just want to say I really appreciate y'all watching. It's been a fun few months to talk about travel. It's a unique thing, a little bit of housekeeping, I guess. It's a unique thing to do a travel show where I sit in front of my laptop and talk about travel. Because if you've watched my YouTube channel, which if you haven't, you should, you know that most of my videos are me going out and doing the things and showing the things. So it's been a really fun time to sit here on the show and kind of talk to my laptop, talk to the camera about doing things without actually demonstrating them or showing them or doing them. So I don't know. It's been a fun time. So thanks for tuning in for that. Next week, when I see you, we will have some more fun travel tips, tricks, and hacks. And when the world of travel comes back and you're tuning into the show, you're going to see me back out on the road, back out adventuring, back out exploring. Look at that. There's the shirt. Go grab it. And having some fun and taking you along the road with me. Thanks so much for watching. Best of travel. I will see you next Tuesday at 11 a.m. As always, stay safe, stay smart, stay clever, and wear your mask, kids. It's important.